It's David here from Freedom Founders. Today I want to talk to you about the epiphany that I had, and I want to share with you that made a monstrous, huge change in my life, and I'm forever grateful for. Many times the adversity that we go through from acts of our own or inactions or poor decisions, or sometimes it's just we don't have any choice in the matter. Things just happen in life, right? But sometimes the adversity we go through to get through that, to persist through it, and come out the other end, there's so much we learn from those adverse events in life, those crises, that I just want to share one that came up for me. So some of you know my story, being in private practice dentistry for 21 years, and having a daughter, my only child, who went through leukemia at an early age, epilepsy, had to have a liver transplant at age 12. That was about 14 years ago. And what I found is that she gave me the strong reason why I need to change my life. We go through life thinking that, when I get all these things right, when I pile up enough money, when I get a practice or a business that's doing this amount of revenue or getting this much profit per year, per month, whatever, when I've got all this stuff just right, that's when I'm going to start living my life. Isn't that the way we think? Yeah. And the problem is getting it all right. It's never enough because we don't really know when it's enough. There's a little bit of a fear-based factor, I'll just admit it, that goes through that. I need more and more, because what if? We can't live your life that way. I found that really the best insurance policy for me is my relationships, my network, but that's a rant for another day. I'm just saying money, it's by itself, yeah, we have to have it, but it doesn't serve the main purpose. The goal is to be able to have enough time to have freedom. Freedom Founders, that's what we're about. Doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it. So how do you get there? How do you get there before you get to age 60, 62, 5, 67, 70 years old? Plus, I've got doctors calling me and saying, hey, David, I need help. Oh, my gosh, take a deep breath. You're behind the eight ball. Why don't we start a little earlier and figure this out? See, the problem is that society, teachers, school, well-meaning people set up this standard that says you go to school, you get into a job, career, profession, and you just ride this puppy. You just toll away at it, doing good work, obviously solving problems. Beat your chest. Yeah, I'm solving problems for humanity. I'm a dentist. I'm doing great work. That's great. But do you want to continue to toil through that all your whole life, out of breath, burning out? Because that's what happens, gang, and it's tougher and tougher today. If ever before it was tough, it's tougher today. You know what the problems are: the marginalization, the commoditization, the overtake of healthcare by insurance companies and big government. Corporate clinics are popping up everywhere. It's tough today to be solo individual owner, small practice owner. It's very, very tough. And yet we've been set up to go through this, and many docs are working way longer than they should have to. Many younger docs are saddled with extreme debt, and somewhere in the middle just thinking that if I just work harder, if I just take more CE courses, yeah, that's going to flip the switch. Or I'm going to change the way insurance is running healthcare in America or dentistry. Sorry. I mean, well wish thinking, but you can't change what you can't change. What you can change is you. I can only change me. So when my daughter was going through that stuff, I couldn't pull a rabbit out of the hat. All my training, all my wisdom, the real estate I had, all the money I had, couldn't change where she was in her life with her health crisis. All I could do is change me and the way I was running my life. Really, life was running me because I was letting it happen. Because I was building things on this false premise that by working hard or harder and piling up more stuff, that was going to give me the life. It wasn't solving my child's health issue, and primarily it wasn't solving the fact that I wasn't able to spend the time with her through her first 12 years of life, as difficult as they were. I kept thinking, well, it's all going to get better by itself. Well, I thought this was my last straw. I mean, really, how many more lives does she have? She may not be around, and then I'm going to beat myself forever because I didn't take that time. Here's the epiphany I found. When I was able to figure out and minimize and get really clear on my number, what number? The financial number, the number that I felt I needed to have on passive cash flow. That's where I didn't have to go to work as a dentist. What did I have to provide enough to provide for my family? Enough. Not some big magnificent lifestyle, house on the hill, driving or leasing great cars and all this stuff. No, I'm talking about just getting down to basics. What did I have to have? And when I evaluated at that point in time, some 14 years ago, fortunately I had been building up the real estate. And with the sale of the practice, I could turn that equity into cash flowing real estate opportunities. I knew how to do that because I had the network. But once I saw I had enough, and it wasn't huge. It wasn't magnanimous amount of capital or assets. It was enough. And when I realized that, I decided, I took a deep breath and said, you know what? I'm out. I'm out. I'm selling the practice. I can make this happen. I'm not going to let this thing, this trying to drive for this pinnacle on a mountain of having enough stuff. I wasn't going to let that drive me anymore. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. The best thing that ever happened to me. My daughter survived. Thankfully, she survived. I was able to spend time with her, whether she was sick in the hospital or she was well. I got to spend some real time with her, and I didn't have to like break my schedule at the office every other day or week to go spend the time with her. I didn't have that baggage hanging on me. It's not that I regret being a dentist at all. No, it gave me the platform, the stepping stone to get to the next. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. You probably love parts of what you do as a dentist. I know I did. But there's a whole lot of other parts, and probably more parts that you don't like about the business, the practice of dentistry, the commoditization, the stuff that you hate, but you feel like you're trapped, right? You're trapped right now, and you have to take all this insurance and deal with all that stuff, and it's getting tougher and tougher, and you're on this treadmill that's going faster and faster, and how do you ever get off? You're not going to get off unless you make some changes. The first change is if you haven't already blown your lifestyle up because you feel entitled, like it's time to live life finally, if you haven't done that already, that's the first step. You're in better shape. If you've blown it up already, dialing it back down again, it's only going to happen if you and your spouse, your significant other, along with the rest of your family, will agree to it. And to do that, you've got to be on the same page. You've got to speak the same language. You've got to be clear, and everybody's got to be clear as to what the goals really are and how you can get there. Yes, how you can get there sooner, not later, because no one wants to sacrifice their whole life away. I get that. You do deserve some things in life for the hard work. But you're not just entitled to them, okay? I'm sorry. You're not entitled anymore. Dentistry, veterinary medicine, being a physician in medicine, any of those staid professions, they're not what they used to be many years ago. And if you still want to do them, you really want to do them, then you have to do it differently. And having to jump into bed with the insurance companies, I'm sorry, that's being the low-cost provider, and that's what insurance does to you, is not a winning game. You cannot, by yourself, be Walmart. Now, if you're a DSO, and you're building a big conglomerate, yeah, well, you can compete on that basis. But you as a small individual practitioner, if that's who you want to remain, it's not going to happen. Change your lifestyle, start developing alternative wealth streams, particularly in real estate, is what I love. So you don't have to go out there and beat it every day so hard. You can serve the clients that you want to serve that appreciate what you bring to the table, the experience you bring, the value you bring, the connection you bring. You don't have to treat 25, 30 patients a day. You don't have to be open, at all hours, you serve the people who really appreciate who you are. Now, that's not the wide segment of the population. That's a niche that's down, but they're out there. Those people are there. You've got to learn how to build a practice experience and market to, converse with, build the engagement with those people. You do that. You build the alternative wealth on the outside, and you keep your freedom goal number, that passive cash flow number to replace your active. You get that down to a reasonable level, not way up here, not $30,000 a month, ridiculous. You get it down like, let's talk about $10,000 a month. I can show you how to get to that number relatively easily. And the epiphany is when you hit that number and you can let it go if you want to, or size down your practice and just see the patients you want to see, everything changes. Everything changes. Whatever your number was, that freedom number, it will just expand. It will expand. You're not going to be held to that number the rest of your life. That's what people worry about. Oh my gosh, David, $10,000 a month. Well, I can't do that. What if costs go up? No, you look. Being free means you are free now to let your mind expand. You're not just being busy all the time. You can't think. You can build relationships, networks. That's the key to life. Look, I didn't get it either when I was younger. I was on that treadmill too, until I had these epiphanies, somewhat because of my daughter's illness, somewhat because I made opportunities when I was younger in life to find people outside of my industry, outside of dentistry, who were real entrepreneurs, who were doing things in real estate and taught me finance and business negotiation. Real estate as a vehicle taught me those things, and that's what really set me free. Dentistry, yes, stepping stone. The discipline to become a dentist is awesome. But if you stop there, if all your focus stays right there on you being this master clinician, begging for patients, having to deal with PPO, managed care insurance companies, I don't want you to be there. Look, I don't want that to happen to you. I'm just here to tell you there's a better way, a faster way, and you can do it so much faster. But you need a blueprint. You need a blueprint to track on. You need access to the right people, the right deal flow. If you'll do that, I promise you, you can be free and the life changes forever. It's not just my story. It's many people's story, not just people I've helped, but other people I've found in the entrepreneurial world. When we follow the same path, minimize the freedom goal, then everything expands from there. Life changes. Yeah, trust me on that. Follow me. I'll tell you more about the story. Love to talk to you sometime. Just remember, always stay focused on your freedom. It is your life. I'll see you next time. Take care.